Thank you for joining us on this ceasefire moment. Grace versus law. We're continuing to look at the commandments and what ones we're able to keep and what ones we may no longer be able to keep. Today we're going to dive into legal matters. Do not accept ransom for one who willfully murdered. He must surely be put to death. Do not accept ransom for one who killed accidentally. He must remain at the city of refuge. Do not endanger anyone's life. Do not neglect to protect against hazards. Do not mislead another person by giving unlawful advice. Do not administer more punishment than the law allows. Do not go after tale-bearing or slandering about anyone. Do not bear hatred for anyone. Do not share in another's guilt by not correcting sin. Do not seek revenge against your fellow man. Do not bear a grudge against your fellow man. Do not take the mother when taking the young birds. Do not remove the signs of leprosy. Do not neglect to inform the priest when a dead body is found. Do not permit a witch to live. Do not force a bridegroom to perform military service during the first year of his marriage. Do not rebel against the teachings of Yahweh's anointed servants. Do not add to any of Yahweh's laws. Do not take away from Yahweh's laws. Do not curse, revile, or rebel against Yahweh's appointed judges or against the authority placed by Yahweh. Do not curse the deaf, the parents, or teachers. Do not strike or become violent with parents or teachers. That teachers was teachers of the law. Do not work on a Sabbath. Do not conduct personal business on the Sabbath. Do not kindle anger or wrath on the Sabbath. On the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, do not work. Do not work on the seventh day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, on the Feast of Weeks, on the Feast of Trumpets, on the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles, on the last great day, or on the Day of Atonement. A judgment must be rendered in the case of an injury caused by a person, caused by an animal, caused to an animal. A thief must make full restitution or else be sold for his theft. Judgment must be rendered in cases of property damage caused by animals, of fire damage, involving items held for safekeeping, involving animals held for safekeeping, claims against a borrower, in disputes arising out of sales, out of over possessions of property. Monetary restitution must be paid in cases involving bodily damage. Judgment must be rendered in disputes arising out of inheritance. I don't think I would have problems with most of these. I think I would be able to keep them. In general, if you are following God's law, you shouldn't get in trouble and none of this should matter to you unless you happen to be a judge. And if you happen to be a judge, then you would need to follow all of these. Again, I don't think there's anything here that I couldn't keep. The question would be, would I keep? Some of these might be really interesting to actually put in place today and see how that works out in society and how that affects the people who do commit crime. This concludes this episode of this ceasefire moment. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you learned something.